me to the power of 2. There's a lot of heritage that gets pulled upon. As I'm sure anybody who's spent any time talking with Warren knows how important that is, the vital life and heritage that started with Walt 80 years ago, and what that means to us and what it means to this game. There are components of the game that are there for that are in there that are driven directly from the original dreams and visions of Walt and the Imagineers, elements from the park. So it is very important for us to be here. There's a real serious connection to Disneyland, which is why it was perfect for us to be here. This handsome gentleman is me.
Yay!
Photo last night. For those of you who've known me for a while in Interactive, I felt I had to have a new photo because I've lost a lot of weight and have a beard before. So people will recognize me. I have the distinct honor of being able to work with a lot of great teams, a lot of great projects at Disney Interactive in the core group. But more importantly, I want to quickly acknowledge and thank our friends and partners here at the park for bringing us into such a great space to have this event and to set up some really amazing things that we're going to be doing a little later on after the press event. Quickly wanted to give a shout out to Disney California Adventure, which of course we are attached to here. The park reopened on June 15th of this year and the grand opening of Cars Land and the Buena Vista Street remake. That culminated a 5-year expansion of Disneyland. Disney California Adventure, which included Toy Story Mania, World of Color, and Little Mermaid, Ariel's Undersea Adventure, and more areas, including, of course, the brand new Cars Land that opened. I was very lucky. I got to go to one of the early employee events, so I only had about a 2-hour wait to go on a Radiator Springs Racers, which is just one of the largest and most elaborate attractions ever created for the Disney theme parks. And so if you get a chance to wait in line to go on that thing, it is totally worth it. Also, Buena Vista Street is our newly themed and redesigned entrance into California Adventure. It's reminiscent of Los Angeles in the 20s and 30s when Walt first arrived here in California. There are shops and locations that call to mind stories and characters that were originally created in those early days of Disney animation. Notably, Oswald's, so very, very thematic for our event today. And here you can see the filling station, which is right at the entrance to the park. Something we're going to be doing a little later that I just wanted to note before we dive into the rest of the event is we're going to be going on something that's very special later, which is we call Walk in Walt's Footsteps. That's a chance we're going to go through, actually go through the park, see areas that were very important and key to Walt, even getting to go to some places that really nobody gets to go into unless you get some really special access, which, again, we've been granted by our friends here. So, yeah, that was exciting. I'm actually kind of getting chills thinking about the stuff we're going to get to go do. The reason I want to point that out is that what we see that those aren't areas, originally I know we've had other tours and other things we've talked about, we go to areas that are associated with the game. This is something that's very different and really special. It's all about Walt and the vision that he had in areas that were special to him. So with that, and having made those announcements and welcome you all, I would now like to welcome Warren Spector to the stage. Warren's going to talk to you about the game, and you're going to hear some awesome stuff.
We've talked about this game a lot. I've talked about this game with many of you before. There are a bunch of things that we've talked about before. I want to recap very quickly. We've talked about how we are on all platforms now. The first game was a Wii exclusive. Now we are on PS3, 360, Wii, and you'll get to see Wii U in a little while. We've talked about how we addressed the lack of character voices in the first game. In this game, everyone speaks every line of dialogue, including some that never spoke before, like Oswald, the Lucky Rabbit, the Gremlins, and others. We addressed a lot of our camera issues, so it's up to you to assess how we did on that. But we heard loud and clear that one of the things people wanted us to work on in the first game was our camera system, so we worked very hard on that. The team did a great job, I think, but you will get to make your own mind up. I'm not going to go into this. If you want to talk about persistence when we sit down and talk one-on-one, I'm happy to do that. This is a geeky game thing. Just leave it. Let's leave it at when you make a choice in this game, it really is going to matter. The first game we did, what I call choice and consequence light, in this game, everything you do really does matter. And in many cases, the choices you make are forever. So think carefully before you draw or erase in Disneyland 2. We've talked about some of the settings that we've gone to. New settings like the Ensign's Workshop, which is a fully explorable space now, and pretty magical, I think. There's some moments in this that I think are some of the most magical in the game. Oztown, our version of Toontown, which is now a deeper and richer experience than it was in the first game, and very much changed by earthquakes and natural disasters that have affected Wasteland between the first game and the second. We talked about the Disney Gulch, based on Frontierland, and one of the most interesting and most changed parts of the park for me, and you'll see much more about that in a little while. We've talked about a lot of the characters, new characters and old characters in new roles. The blot, the combination of beetleworx and the animatronic beetleworx and the toon blot lines that are in the game. We talked about the gremlins in their larger role, and Hortensia, Oswald's girlfriend, sort of an amalgamation of all of Oswald's girlfriends from the cartoons. He's got one steady role now. He's not playing around. But we talked about all that. We talked about two-player co-op, which I'm really proud of. And the fact that Oswald is there as an AI-controlled character, even when you don't have a friend sitting with you to play along with you. We've talked about songs in the game.
Yay!
Yes, there are several songs in the game. Characters express themselves by breaking into song at various points, which I'm really excited about. It's just a dip of the toe in the water of the interactive musical of the future. If you all like it, you'll see plenty more in the future, trust me. Now, you would think that would be enough, and you're probably wondering, well, why am I sitting here listening to all this stuff I've already heard about? Well, I've been sitting on this stuff for months. we have so many game systems and so much new stuff that I haven't been able to talk about. Let's not point fingers of blame at anybody at Disney Corporate Communications. But now I can talk about it. Now I just got in trouble. We're going to a new land. Okay, you'll see it here for the first time. It's inspired by the Mine Train, the Nature's Wonderland ride. It's based on something real, as everything in the game is. We'll be going to Rainbow Caverns. Here's a little bit of concept art for Rainbow Caverns. Wow. Well, that's the concept art. This is the actual map, and you'll get to play it today. And here's a little bit of footage from that. We'll talk more about what just happened there in a second. Oh, and we'll talk more about that sign in a second. Part of the game inspired by the Rainbow Caverns Mine Train, again based on the real thing, and Rainbow Falls. This is, again, concept art. This is the actual game. I'm going to go, I'm blown away. By the
Awesome.
way, I made mention of how talented the team is back at Junction Point. Let this just be the evidence. I mean, concept art, game. Concept art, game. We have costumes. During the game, you'll be able to find, be gifted with, rewarded with, or purchase bits of costumes. The hub for that is the Hat Shop on Mead Street. And Okay, so all of you demoers, by the way, we're going to be really coy about all this stuff and let people discover it for themselves. But all of these costumes actually affect what Mickey and Oswald can do. So the choice of which costume pieces you buy or find, what you wear, actually will affect what you can do in the game world. So now we have paint, thinner, costumes affecting what the character can do. We have inkwells. Inkwell now, we have invisible ink and indelible ink, of course.
Oh my God.
And that also affects what Mickey and Oswald can do. You can probably kind of figure it out. The invisible ink is kind of a stealth mode for the game. So, you know, worked on games like Ink and stuff, you have to have a stealth mode, right? But if you're more of an actioning type, you can make yourself indelible, and I bet you can figure out that without any help. In addition, we have a place called the Observatory. And we're really not going to talk about this, but if you look through that telescope and do some exploring that way, you might learn some of the secrets of the cartoon world of Disney Epic Mickey. The observatory. We have even more pins, and now we have a pin shop.
All right.
So you can lord it over all of your friends and show them your pin collection, which will be different based on, well, which of all those abilities you use, which ones you collected, which quests you learn about, which ones you don't. I'm running out of breath. There's a photo mode, which is an important part of many quests. You'll be sent off to take pictures, and you'll be able to look at your pictures and share them with your friends through the Photoshop. And you're going to want to look for those photo opportunity signs and take a bunch of pictures to record your unique adventure through Wasteland. And then finally, I already mentioned this briefly, but we announced recently that we were going to be not just on, let me see if I can get this right, Wii, PS3, 360, Mac, PC, 3DS with a different name we'll get to in a minute, but also on Wii U, and I've been waiting to use that piece of art for over a year.
Yeah.
That's a screenshot of the game, and the game is actually running on the Wii U over in the corner there, so you can go play it yourself today. You are the first humans on the planet to see this outside of the studios. Enjoy that. So that is kind of an overview of the game. And again, you're going to get to play a new level. You're going to get to see all these new game systems that I've been dying to talk about. They really change the way the game feels. But before we let you all loose to do that, let's talk about Disney Epic Mickey Power Revolution.